Okay. I'm going to take this for a second time tomorrow. This one, you can use this, but you're not going to get the full packet of open notes like you do on the first time we took it. Okay, it's a linear equation. It's all about lines. Okay. All right, now on the graphs, there's two graphs. So this says negative 2x plus 6y equals 12. I want you to tell whether that's in standard form. It's a line. There's no second power. I want you to tell me if that's in standard form or slope-intercept form. Are the y and the x together on one side? Yes, so that's in standard. And the equals is there, so it's going to be a solid line. Okay. Go to the back side. Is the y by itself? Yeah, and is the x on the other side? Yeah, so that's in slope intercept form. And there's no equals, so that's going to be a dashed. Okay. All right, now let's get the lines drawn. And this, I just have to get the solid line down. There's no true-false test I have to run because it's just equals. So you remember how to do a standard form line. You make a table with the double zeros. You write that equation out twice. I'll just do it down here because I don't have to do a test, so I'm just going to do it down here. And if x is 0, we can eliminate 2x, and then 6y equals 12 divided by 6, and 12 divided by 6 is 2. If y is 0, we can eliminate 6y, and then negative 2 times x equals 12, so divide by negative 2. And 12 times negative 2 divided by negative 2 is negative 6. Okay. Okay, so this is the x, this is the y, so we're going to graph 0, 2. So I stay in the middle, go up 2. And then x is negative 6, y is 0. So x is negative 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if y is 0, we stay in the middle. And we're just going to connect the dots. That's my solid line. All points on that line make this side equal to 12 for x and y. Okay, now that's how you graph standard, slope-intercept. Well, first you write the word slope and y-intercept, and then we're going to write m and b. So m, b. M is the slope, that's mx and b. 2, but that can't be an integer. You want to make the integer into a fraction, put a 1 under it. Y-intercept, negative 6. So we go with the y-intercept first, and that's on the y line. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, slope, rise over run. We're going to go up because it's positive, and then 1 to the right. So up 2, right 1, up 2, right 1. And this is going to be dashed, remember, because it's not equal. Points that make it equal aren't included in the solution. Okay, what's the best point you could pick on a true-false test? Easiest point on a graph, probably the middle. X and y are both 0. Okay, now you need to copy that exact inequality down. Just copy it down. Y is greater than 2x minus 6. Okay, we're going to put 0 in for both letters. There's nothing in front of the y, so I just scribble it out, put 0. X also is 0. I'm going to put a parentheses though because it has a 2 in front of it. Then what do I have? Well, I have 0 on this side of the sign. And then what's 2 times 0? 0. Take away 6. Negative 6. Okay, 0 is the larger value. Okay, and the sign does open up towards 0, so that's true. So I put a T over that point. That means any point over here is true because this is my dividing line. Any point on this side of the dividing line is true. Any point on the other side is false. Okay, solve the inequality and graph your solution. So that means we need a number line. And just basically solving it, you just get to isolate the x variable. You gotta, oh yeah, no, it ain't quite that simple. Now that you've circled your only x variable, is there a negative with that coefficient? Yeah, there is. So we know the sign's going to switch. Okay. If there's not a negative, it stays the same in that circle. Okay, now isolate the x. Minus 7, so negative 3x is greater than 12. And now it's time to divide. But remember, after dividing, now we want to transfer over here. So I have x and negative 4. Okay, so negative 4 is my solution. I will not fill it in, and it goes this way. Okay, now the next one. This one's a little bit confusing. I gave you a couple hints right here. It's an absolute value, okay? Absolute value equation. 2 times the absolute value of 4x plus 2, and then the absolute value ends, and we have subtraction of 4 equals 12. Absolute values always have 2 answers, which we find by making 2 separate equations. There's going to be 2 answers. Okay, and I gave you some hints there because you're not ready to go over here yet because the outside of the absolute value is not clear. Okay, we have a minus 4 and we have a multiplying by 2. So before we go over here, we need to clear the absolute value of the things that are outside of it, that side of the equation. So undo the minus 4 because it's not equal to 12. You don't know what the absolute value, you don't know what this equals till this crap's gone. Okay. And don't use Q, you don't use rainbows, it's not a parentheses. So undo the minus 4, so plus 4. So what do I have? I have 2, absolute value 4x plus 2 equals 16. Now undo the times 2, because that's means it's multiplying, okay? So I divide by 2, that gives me 8. And now I have my absolute value all by itself. Okay, it's clear. So I know that where are the 2 places you can be 8 from 0 on a number line. That's when you can ask yourself that. You can be at 8 or negative 8. Then inside you got 4x plus 2. Okay, so minus 2, 4x equals 6. Divide by 4, and that's 1.5. 1.5 minus 2, that's going to be negative 10, and that's going to be negative 2.5. Okay. All right, so again, you're not ready to go on this chart until the outside of the absolute value is clear. Okay, undo that. Then undo the multiplication, then you'll know what it equals, and then so it could be at 8 or negative 8. Absolute value is all about the number line from 0. Okay, rewrite so y is by itself. It's converting it from standard form to slope-intercept form. So we want to get the y by itself, so I have negative 10y, I circle it. We need to undo the 8x, so I subtract it. Get rid of it, and that can't be subtracted from 50, so you have to put it beside it. Okay, now that that's clear, now we can undo the multiplication by negative 10, so divide by negative 10, and you got to divide in all 3 places. Okay, so I have y by itself, and then the equals. 50 divided by negative 10 is negative 5. And then negative 8 divided by negative 10 is 0.8. Okay, so plus 0.8. And then we need to have the x on that. That's it. It doesn't matter the order you have these written either, okay, as long as they're right. Now you can also leave that 8 over 10, but the negatives would cancel out, or you could reduce it to 4/5, okay? Probably the right math Nazis would say 4/5, okay? But I'm fine with, as long as you know the general procedure. Circle the y, clear your x term. You're going to divide by negative 10. Okay, this standard has a lot of story problems. Okay, 2 units, you want the side boxes, and 3 units, and the distance, speed, time. 2 people are working at a car wash. One person can wash 1 car in 45 minutes. The other person can wash 1 car in 35 minutes. How long is it going to take them to wash 14 cars while working together? Okay, looks like we have 2 units of measurement. And these are not parabolas. There's no parabolas. They're all lines. Okay, they're all linear functions. Okay, so my 2 units are cars and minutes. Okay, X is minutes, Y is cars, so per. Cars per minute, I don't know that, okay? So, go make your line and let's do some analysis here. Now, X always starts at 0, and that means X is 0 minutes. So, if there's 0 minutes, do you think you're going to get any cars washed? You're the one who's working. If you work for 0 minutes, you guys going to get any car washes? No. Okay, so I don't have to worry about this. I don't have to worry about the line. I know it's direct variation. So that means we're going to use ratios. Okay, I have one person, I have another person, and I have when they work together. Okay, and then we add the 2 separates to equal the togetherness. Okay, minutes, that sounded really stupid, whatever. Minutes go on bottom, you got to have your time on bottom. And cars on top. Okay, 1 car in 45 minutes, so 1:45. Okay, 1 in 35, so 1:35. Okay, 14 cars, 14 over X. Okay, and then add those. 1/45 plus 1 over, because you know this stays 14 over X. It's these 2 you have to add. So 1/45 plus 1 over 35 is 16 over 315. Then you're going to find that product and divide by 16. Cross multiply and divide. 276. Okay. It's quite a long time. It's over between 4 and 5 hours. You can just leave the unit in minutes. So, to install a ceiling fan, one service charges $120 for installation plus $5 per hour to install the fan. A second service charges $55 installation plus $14 per hour to install the fan. For how many hours is the first service a better price? Okay, so we're finding the hours. Okay, and 2 units again. So 2 units, we want to conduct our analysis through this little mapping strategy. So money and hours. So X is hours, Y is money. So per, dollars per hour. Read the problem. Now 5 is one of them. But then there's another one that's 14. So that's 2 different ones. So that means you need to, they're lines, but you need to make 2 of them because the cost infinitely goes up. So X comma Y plus MX Y. X comma Y. By the way, the X's always start at 0. Remember that. Plus MX Y. Okay, my M's are 5 and 14. Okay, prior to the $5, we have 120. So we start at 120. And prior to the 14, we have 55. Okay. And again, what this question's asking you is when are these equal? Okay. So we want to know when 120 plus 5x is equal to 55 plus 14x. Okay, again, we're solving linear equations. There's no powers to worry about. There's only one answer, and we need to get the x's on the same side. They go together, okay, but they're on opposite sides, so we need to balance out the smaller one. So minus 5x minus 5x. So I have 120 equals 55 plus 9x. And then here's my x, and we need to undo the 55. And that's 65. 9x divided by 9 divided by 9. And 65 divided by 9 is 7.2. Okay. Okay, next problem's really easy. At a job, Chuck makes a base pay of $1,000. He also makes $30 per hour of overtime worked. If he works 12 overtime hours, how much does he make? So we're finding how much he makes. So 3 units. So I've got money and hours. X is hours, Y is money. So per dollars per hour. And $30, and that's the only one we have. So that is a linear function because it doesn't go up and come down. It's going to keep just going up. So x comma y plus mx y, and we got 30. Prior to the 30, you have 1,000. Okay. Okay, so write that equation: 1,000 plus 30x equals y. Okay, now the replacement values is kind of the last value. It's 12, and it's 12 hours, and that is going to go in for x. Okay, that's an x value. So here's my x. Got a 30 in front of it, so we're going to want to put a parentheses there. And I'm solving for y. Well, y is all by itself, so we can just plug that into the calculator. 1,000 plus 30 times 20 equals y. So 1,000. Okay, I got 1,600. So $1,600. 1,600. No, wait a second, that wasn't right. Why am I putting a 20 in? It's supposed to be 12. Freaking idiot. Okay, 1,000 plus 30, and then 12. There we go, 1,360. Okay, next one. This one's one of the worst ones, okay? A golf course charges a membership fee. Don't worry about that till you get to it. Charges a membership fee plus a fee for every round of golf played. If a member plays 5 rounds of golf, his total cost, including the membership, is $175. If the same person plays 15 rounds of golf, his total cost, including the membership, will be $255. What will the total cost, which needs to include the membership, be for a person who's played 32 rounds of golf? So again, there's 2 units. So again, the analysis needs to take place through this mapping strategy here. Okay, so money in rounds, and you're like, well, I don't have a time unit. Okay, so have X be whatever you're buying. The product you're buying is rounds of golf. Dollars per round. Okay, I don't believe it ever gives us a dollars per round. Now I'm pretty sure it's always the same. So I know there's one that exists. There'd only be one of them. So it's a line. And I clue you in on something up here. Now there was a membership charge. So before you had any rounds of golf, you had to pay money. So that's why I put not 00. Well, what do you put? You don't know. You ain't putting that. That's after 5 rounds, not 0 rounds. That's what the 0 represents. And 255 is after 13. So neither one of those go at the beginning, but it's not 0. Well, what are the 2 things we have to do when we know it's not 0, but we don't know what it is? Well, we need y minus y, x minus x over here. And we need y equals m dot x, mx plus b over here with the combo. Okay, so y minus y. Y is money, okay? And it looks like our money amounts are 175 and 255. You put those in any order you want, just be consistent. And then the rounds that were for 175 was 5 and then 13. Okay, so we get negative 80 over negative 8, and that equals 10. So $10 per round. So I know that we can put 10 here now. Okay, now to find the beginning, the initial amount. We're solving for B, so we need to get these other letters out of here. Okay, find a combo. Got to be one of each. They got to be in the same sentence. Well, how about 5 rounds and $175? You can also use, there's another combination. You can use that too. So Y, since Y stands for money, we want to put 175. And then M, we have our 10. And X, we have our 5. Okay, so 10 times 5 is 50. Because we need to find that product. So 175 equals 50 plus B. Put a 1 in front, and you need to undo the 50. You don't ever have to divide to find a B. So 125 equals B. Now I can write my equation. Now everything's good. I can write 125 plus 10x equals y. Here's my final value, 32. 32 rounds is the input. Now where would that go? Rounds is x, so x. So 125 plus 10, 32 equals y. Everything's the same except I replace the x with 32. Okay, solving for y is always very easy. You just plug it into your calculator. 125 plus 10 times 32 is 445. Okay, next problem. At an animal shelter, the manager needs to buy food for the cats and dogs. Dog food costs $4.50 per bag, while cat food costs $2.99 per bag. There are 37 cats and dogs in the shelter. If the invoice is $145.36, how many cats, how many dogs are in that shelter? Finding how many cats, how many dogs, and there's 3 units. So I don't really want to use that. That's ineffective. I think this one will be better. Okay, so I put together on top, and then out of the units, what are the 2 that go together? It'd be cats and dogs. And then I put how many units, single, total, and that 3rd unit, which is the money, is placed on top of these 2. Okay, give me a money total. 145.36, so 145.36, okay, out. All right, now let's go up top row. How many units? That has nothing to do with money, so not money. The only quantity I see that's not money is 37. And that says cats and dogs, so that's together. And then so separately I need to label them X and Y. Okay, so when you know the together but not the separate X and Y. Okay, we don't have a use for that ever. Okay, now this is about money. So 450 is money, that's for the dog food. And then $2.99 is a cat food. Okay, so you multiply, they get 299x and 4.50y. Okay, so here's the equation on bottom, but we have x and y, so that means I'm going to have to create a system from this table. Here's one equation, and then here's the other. Okay. So 1x plus 1y equals 37, and 2.99x plus 4.50y equals 145.36. Okay, you're going to have to use elimination. So what's the bottom number you have in front of x? 299. So dot 2.99 dot 2.99 dot 2.99. Okay, and then we have a 1 here, so times 1 times 1 times 1. Okay, so it's going to be 2.99x plus 2.99y equals, then we need to take 37 times 2.99, 110.63. Okay, and then 2.99x plus 4.50y equals 145.36. Okay, now you have your match right there. You didn't have one to start with, but you do now. But they can't, you want to add them, but that adding two positive never makes 0. Okay, so you do the sign switch. Negative, negative, negative. Add these cancel. 2.99 plus negative 4.50 is negative 1.51y. 110.63 plus negative 145.36 is negative 34.73. Then you divide. Okay, so y is under dogs, so that's 23. Okay, let's take one of our originals. There is a way on this problem to use common sense too, but I want to teach this process. So 23 goes in for y. Okay, so I got 1x. The product of 1 and 23 is 23 equals 37. Okay, so minus 23, minus 23, 1x equals 14. Okay, so 14. Okay, next problem. An electrician earns $8 more per hour than his apprentice. Last week they earned $597.50. The electrician works 15 hours while his apprentice worked 20 hours. How much does each person make per hour? 3 units again. So together, now let's look at our units. We got electrician, apprentice, and money. So let's, the electrician and the apprentice would go together. Makes sense, like peanut butter and jelly kind of. How many units? Single, total, and then what is my third unit? Third unit's money, so we need to slap that on top of the second and third row. Okay, give me a total. $597.50. Okay, now remember this, not money amounts. Find some, okay, 15 hours. 15 belongs up top. It's not a money amount, and that's the electrician. Cross it out after it's placed. 20 is not a money amount. That's the apprentice. That's pretty much it. We don't. If we know these two, we're not going to need this. Never need that. Find the money amount. Oh, the only one you see is 8. You might be tempted to put 8 under electrician, but you got to keep reading. 8 more per hour. Okay. So right away, put x plus 8 and x. Put those in there. So electrician, x plus 8. His apprentice is x. Okay, question. You don't have a plus sign there, so you just multiply 20x. But you do have 1 here. You need to put a 1 here and do your distributive rainbows. Because you can't add those two, so you take them both times 15 separately. 15x plus 15 times 8 is 120. Okay, so here's the equals, and the letters are the same, so that's awesome. So then we can add those, okay? So that's 35x. I don't need to make that dumb system. Plus 120 equals 597.50. Nice. Okay, get the x by itself. Minus 120, minus 120. So 597.50 minus 120 is 477.5. Divided by 35. Okay, I got 13.64, and I got kind of a messy decimal, but I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, so go find your solo X right there, and that's your apprentice. That's how much he is making per hour. Okay, now the electrician, you use that more than information. How much more? You just plus 8 onto that. When you don't know two things, you know one's more, and that's going to be 21.64. Okay. Car traveling at an average speed of 45 miles per hour travels 200 miles further than a car traveling at a speed of 34 miles per hour. Approximate the distance that each car has traveled, assuming the cars have traveled for the same amount of time. So we're finding the miles they traveled, and when I see that miles per hour stuff, I'm pretty sure I need to use my distance, speed, time chart. So split it in half. We need 4 columns. First column, we just put car 1, car 2, and then speed, distance, time, and then underneath you write your formula. So speed. And speed is distance divided by time if I need it. Okay. Distance is speed multiplied by time if you need it. And then the time. And that's distance divided by speed if you need it. Well, speed, the miles per hour. Well, that says miles per hour, so that's 45. It doesn't matter which car you put it in for. That doesn't say miles per hour. That does, 34. Okay, distance. Distance, you're looking for just miles. Well, you see 200 miles, but you see that further. Well, just like on the last problem, that means you can put x plus 200 and x in these two. Fill those two out. Well, the one going faster is going to have the 200 more, and then that's x. Okay, time. Now, time's in hours, but you're out of numbers, man. So you have to go to the d over s. So what's the distance we had here? X plus 200. Speed's 45. X. Speed's 34. And you know that they traveled for the same amount of time, so you know these are equal. So you set up the equation. So X plus 200 over 45 equals X over 34. Okay, cross multiply divide's not going to do you much good here. Okay, you're going to have to do the A, B, C, D cross products. Okay, so A and B go together, the diagonals, C and D. Okay, so A is X plus 200, and B is 34. C is going to be X, and D is 45. So let's get some distributive rainbows going. Just need 2 on one side. If you have 3 values here, you're going to need 2. Just 2, you need 1. Okay, so 34 times 1x, 34x. 34 times 200 is 6,800. And that's going to be 45x. All right, get the x's together on one side. Probably a good thing to get rid of your smaller ones. So you have 6,800 equals 11x. Divide by 11. Divide by 11. Okay, I got 618. So that's your first car. And you're like, well, how do you get your second one? Well, that's when you're going to use that more than information, because you know the other car went 200 further. So, because you just solved for your solo x, so that distance is 618. That's 618 plus 200. That's going to be 818. Okay, next problem. An item costs $43.39 after it's been marked up in price 20%. How much did the item cost previously? Okay, percent markups or markdowns, we go right to our ratios. and this is our percent ratio. But we don't want to put 20. If I have 100% and I go up 20, what percent does that take me to? 120. And remember, 100's always before, and that's always after. Same labels here. Okay, now about the money. 43.39. It clearly says after. Okay, so you're going to put it obviously into after. Read the problem, and then you can just multiply and divide. Okay, it's always after. Your hundred's always before. Okay, the other one's after. So 43.39 times 100. It's the way the laws of the universe work. Okay, I got 36.16. Okay, last problem. I'm going to set this up. I don't think I'm going to end up solving the whole thing. A family goes to Chicago to watch the Cubs play 2 different times during the summer. The first time they go, they stay 2 nights and buy a total of 10 tickets, and they pay a total of $602.80. The next time they go, the price of the tickets has not changed, nor has the price of the hotel room they are staying. On this trip, they stay 3 nights and buy 12 tickets for a total cost of $773.70. How much does each ticket cost? How much does each night cost? So we're back to 3 units. So we want to go make that tic-tac-toe table. So together, and what are our 3 units? Nights, tickets, and money. So nights and tickets would go together. Okay, and then how many? Single and total. And then what's the third unit? Third unit's dollars. So we don't want dollars, this to have anything to do with dollars, but we want these two. Okay, and what's total? Well, there's 2 of them. There's $602.80 the first time they go, and then there's $773.70 the second time. So we can cross those out. And now up here is non-money related. Okay, so 2 belongs here. It's 2 nights. 10 belongs here. 10 tickets. You can get rid of those. 3 belongs here. And 12 belongs here. Okay. Don't need this. Don't need this. And I'd like to put something here, but we're out of information. So we call this X and this Y. So 2 times X, 2X. 3 times X is 3X. You're going to have 10Y and 12Y. And we have 2 equations. We would have to make the cross. We're not going to do the whole. 2X plus 10Y equals 602.80. 3X plus 12Y equals 773.70. Don't have a match, so we do the dot, dot, dot. So with 3, bring the 3 coefficient, and 2. And I'm not going to finish that problem because you just do, it's pretty much cookie cutter. So we just did one like that back there. Okay, you should know how to finish the rest of it. All right, again, assessment won't be as long as that, but that's all the stuff to watch out for.